I always think about Bane in The Dark Knight. You merely adopted the dark. I was born into it, molded by it. That is literally Scorpio. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I am so glad to be back on camera, and specifically very glad to be here for this May lunar energy check-in. Today we're going to dive into how May's lunar energy is really clearing out space for us to embrace and embody the real version of us. First, we're going to dive into practices that navigate the emotional intensity of the full moon in Scorpio, because at the time of me posting this, we're still going to be feeling that energy for the next few days. And then we're going to explore practices that are going to help us to tap into the mental clarity and curiosity of the upcoming Gemini New Moon, which I believe is on May 26th or May 27th. Double check that for me. And then we'll also be closing today's video with an intuitive card pull from my favorite Moonology Oracle deck. If you guys know me, you know this is my tried and true. I don't usually pull cards on camera, but my guides have really been whispering that this is something that will be a powerful way to seal in the energy and the insights we've explored. So I'm gonna listen to them and we'll see what comes up at the end of this video. Everything is timestamped, so feel free to jump ahead to whatever part of the video feels most resonant for you. But I do encourage you to watch through to the end, because the practices that I'm sharing are timeless tools. And I do want to note that although I am a Chopra certified Ayurvedic health educator and a well-being coach, the practices and the information shared in this video are not intended to replace professional medical advice. If you're considering making any changes to your diet or your lifestyle or your wellness routines, I do encourage you to consult with a licensed healthcare professional just to ensure that they align with any personal health needs or any underlying health conditions that you may have, because I just want us all to be safe. Okay. All right. So the Scorpio full moon, this is one of the most intense moons of the zodiac. I think that goes without saying, because Scorpio asks us to feel deeply, to confront the truths that we've been avoiding, and to shed the energetic weight that's been holding us back. While full moons are typically a time for release already, Scorpio is really bringing in a deeper element of transformation. This isn't just about getting rid of things. This is about facing them. This is about really understanding them. And then once you do that, choosing to let them go. This month's theme here on this channel is reclaiming the right to be. In this context, I think reclaiming the right to feel becomes crucial. So often we're taught to suppress our emotions or to shy away from the uncomfortable ones. We're conditioned to fear what lies in the shadows and to avoid the dark and to deny the intensity of what we're feeling. But Scorpio's not afraid of the dark. And Scorpio's energy is like, come on in, the darkness is fine. I always think about Bane in The Dark Knight when he's like, you merely adopted the dark. I was born into it, molded by it. That is literally Scorpio, and it is inviting us to truly dive in to the dark places within us. More specifically, it's inviting us to really dive into the messy and raw parts of ourselves and to really let them be seen, not as burdens, but as sacred pieces of our humanity. On a personal level, this full moon has probably brought up for you a lot of difficult feelings, whether that's guilt or shame or anger or fear, and that's okay. I believe that those feelings are truly keys to our transformation, but they're also not meant to control us or to hold us back. And I really do want to make that important distinction, because there's a fine line between those things. The question here really is, how can we embrace our full emotional range, even the parts that feel uncomfortable or messy, and still move forward in a way that we are unburdened by the past and we feel free to step into the fullness of who we're becoming? What would it feel like to finally honor those emotions, not as obstacles, but as guides on our path toward greater authenticity and freedom. I think it's so important in this sort of energy to lean into sacred emotional release and to do that through ritual. Emotional well-being really plays a huge role in our overall health. When we look at Scorpio's energy, it really calls for emotional depth and transformation, as we've been talking about. And it aligns perfectly with the Ayurvedic principle of sattva. Sattva is one of the three gunas or qualities of nature. What it represents is purity and clarity and balance. The release that happens during a full moon can really help us cultivate these qualities in both the body and the mind. Because when we're carrying emotional weight, what happens? It often shows up as physical tension and stress and anxiety, depression, disease. And so in Ayurveda, it's really essential to release these emotional blockages because just as we do with toxins, this is what we need to do in order to restore balance within ourselves. So one of the ways I like to do this is with a bath. And I love working with oils, whether I'm putting them directly in the bath or I'm rubbing them on my body. Instead of just a typical bath, I really want to invite you to elevate it into like a sacred emotional release ritual. This is going to honor and tie in the Ayurvedic practice of Abhyanga, which I've talked about on this channel. Abhyanga is basically just a self-massage with warm oil. It's more than just a physical thing because what happens is through the action of gently massaging oil into your body, you're also cleansing and soothing the emotional body. Before you take your cleansing bath, you're going to apply some warm oil to your body, and you're going to do so by doing long strokes down your limbs and circular motions on your joints. Start with the head and then you'll end with the feet. And what this massage is going to do is it's going to nourish the skin, improve your circulation, relax your nervous system. When you're done, that's when you're going to get into your bath, which you can prepare with flower petals, you can prepare it with herbs or bath salts or essential oils. Here's the key. As you soak in this bath, what you're going to do is you're going to close your eyes and you're going to breathe deeply, allow yourself to get into a meditative state. Don't fall asleep though. You don't want to fall asleep in the bath, but you want to create space for you to just imagine that the water is releasing and washing and dissolving all of the emotional buildup that you've been carrying. Scorpio's intense energy really urges us to face the raw, unprocessed emotions we've been avoiding. And so through the power of warmth and soothing oils and herbs, we can really clear the emotional clutter that holds us back and make space for healing. If you do want to add oils to your bath and you're not sure where to start, sandalwood is a great place to start. Lavender is a great place to start. These are both known for their calming and grounding qualities. Those things are essential when dealing with deep, shadowy emotions. Frankincense is an ancient oil that works on both the physical and the energetic body. It's good for helping us release emotional weight and trauma, especially long-held emotional trauma. You can even try adding rose oil or rose petals to your bath, and that's just going to bring in an energy of unconditional love and compassion, and those things can be deeply healing in a process like this. A second practice that will be really supportive for you in the energy of this full moon in Scorpio is breath work. In Ayurveda, breath is considered the bridge between the mind and the body, and the practice of pranayama or breath control or breath work, as many of us know it to be, is often used to calm the nervous system and release mental stress and bring balance to the body's doshas, which are the energetic forces that govern our physical and emotional health. During this full moon in Scorpio, and specifically during the shadow period, we can really use breath to guide us through emotional release, which will also help us to integrate what's coming up without becoming overwhelmed. One thing that I like to do is the 4-7-8 breathwork practice. I find it to be very accessible, and it's something that I often offer my clients whenever I'm guiding meditation with them. To do the 4-7-8 breath, all you're going to do is inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7 counts, and then exhale for 8 counts. The pacing will go something like this. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And you can feel free to pause this video and try a couple rounds on your own. Through this practice, we're also embodying the Ayurvedic concept of surrendering. This is such an important part of the emotional detox during the full moon in Scorpio, because this is where we release what's been stored in our bodies. As you breathe, since Scorpio is a water sign, picture your emotions leaving your body like water flowing through a river, and picture them purifying you in the process. The third and final practice for the Scorpio full moon is emotional mapping with journaling. This is going to help us really confront those shadows. In Ayurveda, the mind is seen as just as important as the body, and one of the most important tools for mental and emotional clarity is self-reflection. Scorpio's energy, as we've been talking about, compels us to confront those parts of ourselves that we often avoid, and in Ayurveda, this aligns with the concept of ama, or toxic buildup that we accumulate emotionally and physically. Just as we clear physical ama through practices like cleansing and detoxing, we also need to clear our mental ama. We need to clear the emotional stagnation that clouds our clarity or our growth. That's why journaling is an excellent practice for this. Writing is a way of releasing mental tension and bringing the unconscious to the surface. By mapping our emotions and reflecting on them, we end up gaining deeper insight into not just their root causes, but we can begin to consciously process and release them. Grab maybe your favorite journal or a notebook, a piece of paper, and just start by letting everything spill out onto the page. You don't need to filter your emotions. You don't need to censor yourself. The point of this exercise is really to explore your deepest truths without shame. When we express ourselves, whether that's through words, through movement, or through art, we are releasing energetic blockages, and it allows us to begin to heal. And so write about the emotions you've been avoiding, and maybe try asking yourself, what has this emotion been trying to teach me? What can I learn from it so I can free myself from it? As you finish journaling, you may want to close with something like a self-compassion practice. In Ayurveda, self-love is viewed as a form of nourishment. You can try something like writing a letter to yourself, thanking yourself for showing up fully and for feeling deeply and for doing the emotional work. Maybe you speak this gratitude to yourself aloud in a mirror, or maybe you just sit still for a moment. The idea is really just to treat ourselves with kindness as we face these challenging emotions. When you're done, you're going to close your practice with an affirmation. It can be something like, I give myself permission to feel fully without shame. I honor my journey and I am free to move forward. All right, so let's shift gears and talk about the new moon in Gemini, which is on May 26th. I just checked. If Scorpio asks us to feel and really feel, Gemini asks us to think and to explore and to communicate and to learn. This new moon is all about working with our mental landscape. It is a time to tap into the curiosity that Gemini brings, to not only explore new ideas, but to also align our thoughts with our highest desires. When we feel deeply, we make space for the clarity that comes next. Feeling everything we need to during the full moon in Scorpio, and during any full moon really, is what creates that opening. And now with the new moon in Gemini, we can really harness that freedom to think with purpose. Gemini rules the mind, and while it invites us to cultivate mental clarity, it also does so in a world full of distractions, which can be really challenging. The energy of Gemini can very easily scatter our thoughts and keep us moving in a million directions at once, and it can leave us feeling unfocused. But when we've cleared out that emotional clutter, like we've been doing with Scorpio's intensity, we can use the Gemini new moon to narrow our focus and hone in on what truly matters. And so this is a really powerful opportunity to create a plan and align our intentions and embody the strength needed to follow through on our ideas. Reclaiming the right to think and to think for ourselves is a revolutionary act. It's also a reminder that our thoughts really do shape our reality. When we reclaim that clarity, we can begin to take action in a way that aligns with our deepest truth. On a collective level, this new moon is also also about using our voices, using our ideas, speaking up for what we believe in. In a world that seeks to keep us distracted and disoriented and siloed, the new moon in Gemini is a reminder that our thoughts matter and that when we reclaim the right to think clearly, we're contributing to the collective liberation of ourselves and each other. So now let's get into some practices to help us harness the energy of the Gemini new moon. In Ayurveda, the mind is seen as a powerful force that's capable of both creation and destruction. The mind can either be calm and clear, or it can be scattered and disturbed depending on our thoughts and our experiences. Gemini, as the sign of communication and intellect, governs the mind, but when it's overwhelmed, it can lead to mental clutter and anxiety and overthinking, as I mentioned. The beauty of the Gemini new moon is that it offers us the perfect opportunity to reset mentally. To do this, we turn to the Ayurvedic practice of self-study. So here we are back to journaling. Journaling is one of the most powerful ways to process our thoughts and to gain insight and to establish clarity. Gemini's energy encourages us to explore new ideas, and when we write, we not only get to know our thoughts better, but we also start to see patterns and connections that might have been hidden before. What I recommend for the Gemini new moon, you can start just a couple days before, you can do it during, you can do it the days after, but I recommend starting with a free-flowing journaling session. Don't hold back, let your mind wander, let it explore, let your pen flow, and as you write, consider these guiding questions. What new ideas or projects are calling my attention? What distractions or mental clutter have I been carrying that need to be released? And what do I want to focus on in the coming months? How can I align my thoughts with my highest purpose? When we clear the mind, we also create space for new opportunities and greater alignment with our truth. Allow this journaling to really be your mental cleansing. Allow it to be a sacred practice that helps you to sift through distractions and gain clarity. Second, for the new moon in Gemini, let's talk about brain boosting foods. Foods can be used to nourish the mind and to ground and to focus. Ayurveda views food as medicine, and when we need mental clarity, we turn to foods that nourish the mind. Again, under Gemini's influence, our minds can become very Vata dominant, meaning that we feel restless and scattered, and maybe we even find ourselves thinking excessively. So the goal here with being intentional about the food we eat is to ground and stabilize this energy so that we can focus and think with intention. To balance the mental restlessness that can come with this new moon in Gemini, what we want to do is focus on foods that are grounding and nourishing and mentally calming. That looks like leafy greens like spinach and kale and dandelion, which are high in iron and magnesium and can support brain health and reduce mental fatigue. There's also seeds like pumpkin and sesame if you're not allergic, which are essential in fatty acids, and they nourish the brain and they promote clarity. There's also nuts like walnuts and almonds and cashews, which are going to help to boost brain function by supplying healthy fats and protein. And another Ayurvedic gem for mental clarity that I don't think a lot of people consider for this use is ginger. I am rarely without fresh ginger in my kitchen. It's a warming herb. It's great for stimulating digestion. It's great for improving circulation in the brain. It's great for warming the throat chakra. It's great for so many things. Also, if you're looking for something calming, Tulsi is used in Ayurveda to promote ojas, which is the vital energy that nourishes the body and the mind. Start small. Don't feel like you have to overhaul your diet all at once. You can just gradually incorporate these foods into your meals and maybe even just consider sipping a warm cup of ginger or Tulsi tea as you set intentions for this new moon. Finally, for the new moon in Gemini, I recommend coming up with a mantra for clarity, something that can help you to reclaim the power of your mind. The power of thought is profound. Our thoughts are literally spells. The words that we speak, whether aloud or inwardly, are literally spells. The minds can either work for us or against us, depending on our mental state. A mantra is a tool that can help us harness the power of the mind and align with our highest intention. During the Gemini new moon, it is so important to consciously reclaim the power of our thoughts, especially as they pertain to communication and self-expression and mental clarity. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is the planet of communication. This is definitely a time to speak your intentions into into existence, but we just want to be mindful of the headspace that we're in when we're doing so. Our words really do have a deep impact on our energy, both internally and externally. Using a mantra not only helps to focus the mind, but it also cultivates that sattva that we were talking about. By repeating a mantra, what's happening is that you're literally retraining your brain to align with your deepest desires and to manifest your highest truth. So you can come up with a mantra on your own, or if you need some help getting started, a simple, powerful mantra you can use for this new moon is, I trust my voice and my vision. What you're going to do is just repeat this mantra to yourself, either aloud or in your mind, and you're going to breathe deeply and you're going to use it to connect to your inner clarity. Let each repetition of the mantra just remind you that your thoughts have power and only you have the ability to shape your reality through your intentions and your voice. I think this practice is also a great way to tap into the power of Mercury's energy and connect more deeply with your ability to communicate your truth. It's definitely a good throat chakra moment for sure. By the end of this ritual, hopefully you'll feel more focused and more grounded and more aligned with your mental clarity and vision. Let's go ahead and pull a card. I just got chills, so I feel like my guides are definitely here with a message. Let's just see what my guides and what the moon has to say as we continue on this journey of emotional release and clarity. I'm just going to kind of do my sort and shuffling thing here off camera and just really tap in. What messages do you have for my lovely YouTube community as we navigate this month's moon spirit? Any final messages? We got the end of a tough cycle approaches. You can take a look at that. See how it feels for you. I think this is literally speaking to the sequence of these moons, right? How we're going through it right now. I know I am. You probably are under the Scorpio full moon, and there are a lot of difficult feelings coming up. Maybe there's an obstacle or something big that we've been working through for a while now. And maybe it's something that we thought we were overcoming, but within this Scorpio full moon, it kind of feels like things got stuck or something resurfaced, something came back, and you're like, didn't I already address this? What's happening? And I think what this card is saying and what my guides are saying is that this cycle is about to get easier. For some of you, it might be the end of the cycle altogether. For others, it might just be the beginning of things beginning to feel lighter, alleviated, clearer, so you can get over the final hump. But this feels good. It's also really interesting. I'm just now noticing this, that on this card, the goat is depicted with like a fin, right? And now I'm hearing Dory from Finding Nemo saying, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And it just kind of feels like your reminder. It's like literally just keep swimming, keep going. And during this new moon in Gemini that's coming up, after you have used the moment to work through whatever's coming up, manifest that conclusion for yourself. Manifest the strength. I'm curious what's on the bottom of the deck. Balance, spirituality, and practicality is on the bottom of the deck. And whenever I get this card personally, it's usually telling me to not get so caught up in the doing, because I think for me personally, as someone with 6 Capricorn placements, I will really lock into like the to-do list and the mapping out and the planning, but then like all my spiritual practices that help me to energetically align with everything I'm creating, it just all falls to the wayside. And so this is just that reminder to tend to yourself energetically and spiritually as well. We can open the book too, and let's see what the booklet says for the full moon in Capricorn specifically. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? This card is reminding you that effort is required. Work issues may be about to come to a head when this card comes up. If you are wondering if you should stay in your job or leave, this card can be a strong sign to make an exit. The end of a rough time is forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you're prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card can be a call to face reality. Whatever your situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is troubled, prioritize it more. The message to attune to the moon is release control and trust the universe. Additional meanings for this card are a professional project may be ending now. Admit if you have been overly hard-headed or hard-nosed. Find a balance between your personal and private lives. It's time to stop fearing the worst. The full moon in Capricorn has a very strong work ethic and energy and will more than likely come up when you're asking a professional question. If your question is about another matter, it will serve as a much-needed reminder to move through any feelings of hopelessness you may have been feeling about your situation. And this applies no matter when you draw the card. Making a plan is a far better use of your time. So yeah, it speaks to moving through, being with those feelings, and then making the plan. Full moon in Scorpio, face the feelings. New moon in Gemini, make the plan, manifest. But as you're doing so, don't forget to tend to your spiritual body. Don't forget to tend to your energetic body. As we move through the energies of May, the full moon in Scorpio, the Gemini New Moon, I want you to really remember that this process is about more than just clearing space. This process is about making room for who you're truly meant to be. This full moon in Scorpio asks us to face our shadows, but it also encourages us to embrace the fullness of our emotions and to honor our past, release what no longer serves us. In doing so, we really reclaim our rights to feel deeply and to think clearly and to express ourselves fully. And this, my friends, is how we reclaim our power. When we do this, we step into the collective healing and transformation that can uplift all of us. Ooh, I just got chills. I want you to trust that the practices we've explored today are helping you to reconnect with your deepest truth, because if you give them the time, if you give them the space, they truly can. And they can help you reconnect with the real, unfiltered version of you who's just been waiting to emerge, who's been waiting for you. I'm hearing let the freak flag fly, but like literally let it all hang out. Just be you, and who cares what anyone has to say, because you're being authentic. As you continue this journey, as always, I just want you to know that you're not alone. Every person on this path of self-discovery and healing and growth is walking with you. Whether they're here with you in this video, hello, or there's someone else watching this video, or there's someone else around you, someone you haven't even met before. We're all in this together, and we're all figuring out how to move through life with more authenticity, more trust, more grace. That alone is a revolution. Keep honoring yourself, keep honoring your voice, keep honoring your thoughts, keep honoring your emotions, because they are sacred. And you, my love, are sacred. And the world really needs your truth, as messy and beautiful as it may be. So take a deep breath with me now. Really just claim and tap into all the power that we cultivated today, that you're going to cultivate today, that you're going to cultivate through these practices, through these moves. You are ready to move forward, not just with hope, but with certainty in your ability to manifest your truest self. I am sending you so much love. We are at 300 subscribers, by the way, at the time of me filming this. I have no idea how we got here, because I literally started with 2 subscribers when I started uploading in January. Thank you for being here. And if you're not subscribed yet, please join us. The water's fine. We are growing, we're healing, we're ascending, we're doing all the beautiful things here. Share this with someone who could use it. And remember that you are always supported, both in the shadows and in the light. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.